Actually, one of the market that people do overlook in football happens to be predicting goalkeeper saves. Alright, so in today's particular video, I'm going to explain to you guys the two strategies that you guys can actually utilize under this particular section. Alright, so welcome back to the new edition of this particular YouTube channel, Analyze with Adeayo. So before I proceed, I would like to explain to you guys what goalkeeper save market is. So for those people that are actually new to sport betting, or people that are not really familiar with this particular market, is a very simple and straightforward market, to be sincere. And what this particular market means is that it means the amount of goals that the goalkeeper is able to prevent. And in this particular video, I'm going to share with you guys some strategies and some things that you can actually observe before going for this particular market. All right, so let's talk about the best market option under this particular strategy, goalkeeper save. So I have just two market options for you guys, and I will show you guys how to make use of these particular two market options in this particular video. So the number one option happens to be predicting the total goalkeeper saves in the match, either over or under. It is a very straightforward strategy and very simple market. And the other one is predicting who to win the goalkeeper saves market, that is which team we have the highest goalkeeper saves in that particular match. So I'm going to explain to you guys these two market options and how to make use of it. Alright, so before I proceed, I would like to start with explaining how this particular goalkeeper save totals work. So let us take care of total goalkeeper saves in a match. So that is predicting the overs, because most times I don't really like predicting under points. Anything under, I don't really like going for it. So I will be explaining to you guys how you can work with overs in this particular video. So if you want to predict your games on total goalkeeper saves in a match, I would just advise you guys to go for games that many goals are actually expected. Are you guys getting it? So if you know that this particular game is highly expected to end up as probably maybe over 2.5 goals, and maybe over 1.5 over 2.5, then this particular game happens to be the best game for you guys to go for as over goalkeeper save. So the kind of games that you can actually go for happens to be games under the Bolivia leagues, Netherlands league. Let me check. I think there are Division 2 leagues. We should have a game today. So Netherlands league, if you check them, these are leagues that they are good for over 2.5. All right, so their second league, yes, something like this. So this kind of a game, for example, happens to be one of the best games to go for as total, maybe over 2.5, over 3, over 5 goalkeeper save. So what will determine the figures or the total over goalkeeper saves that you predict in any game? Now it lies on the statistics, the analysis, and it is a very simple and straightforward analysis. I've made a video on how to predict over goalkeeper saves before, and I'm going to explain to you guys again. If you are just joining us for the first time on this particular YouTube channel, please kindly make sure that you subscribe for more tutorial and updates regarding to strategies that are really working out so well. All right, so the number one thing that you need to do is that you need to check only the last 5 games. That is all you need when it comes to predicting total goalkeeper save. Last 5 games against other opponents and against each other. That is their head-to-head. So let us treat the head-to-head first before treating the last 5 games against other opponents. So I will check their last 5 games against each other. The last 5 games. And inside this particular last 5 games, what I just need there is the smallest total saves. All right, so what you just need to look at is the smallest saves that each team had in the last 5 games against each other. So I'm going to check this particular game that actually ended up in 1-0. I'm going to check for Roda and let me check this team, Roda and Graph Chap. So goalkeeper saves. Let's see if we can get something here. Alright, so we have 5 for Roda and we have 5 for Graph Chap. So we are going to check another game, because what we want to do is that we want to pick out the smallest goalkeeper save for Roda and Graph Chap against each other in the last 5 games against each other. Now this particular game that ended up in 2-0, the total goalkeeper save that we had there is 6, 1 for Graph Chap and 5 for Roda. Right, so check the next game. All you are dealing with is just last 5 games. So we have 3 and 4, 3 for Roda and 4 for Graph Chap. Please, if you are following this particular video, please kindly make sure that you pay a very good close attention to this particular strategy. It is very simple, very straightforward. It may take your time, but it's really working out so well. You can test it after watching this particular video. Alright, so for this particular game that actually ended up in 1-1, so we have 4 goalkeeper save for Roda and 4 goalkeeper save for Graph Chap. And for the last game that actually ended up as 0-0, so we have 8 goalkeeper save for Graph Chap and 4 goalkeeper saves for Roda. Now, if you are documenting the data that's currently extracting from the start of these two teams, the smallest goalkeeper save that Roda actually had against Graph Chap in their last 5 games against each other, right, happens to be 1. And the smallest goalkeeper save that Graph Chap had in the last 5 games against Roda happens to be 4. So this particular data is what you are just going to keep for me in one side. So I'm going to apply the same process with their last 5 games against other opponents. Don't forget, this happens to be their head-to-head. That is the last 5 games against each other currently. So I'm going to do the same thing for their last 5 games against other opponents individually. So I would like to skip that particular part in order not to waste much of your time or get you bored with it. So let's continue. Alright, so this is the last 5 games of Graph Chap against other opponents, and I already extract the data needed there. And the smallest total sales that Graph Chap had in their last 5 games against other opponents happens to be 2. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing for Roda. Alright, so for Roda, the smallest goalkeeper saves that they had in the last 5 games against other opponents happens to be 1. Now, don't forget, in the last 5 games of Graph Chap against other opponents, their smallest goalkeeper save that they had happens to be 2. And for Roda, in the last 5 games against other opponents, their smallest goalkeeper saves that they had happens to be 1. Now, this is what you are going to do. Don't forget, in the head-to-head that we analyzed, that is the last 5 games against Roda currently, the smallest goalkeeper save that Graph Chap had happens to be 4, and for Roda it happens to be 1. Now, let us take care of Graph Chap first. The smallest goalkeeper save that Graph Chap had in their last 5 head-to-head games, that is last 5 games against their current opponent, which is Roda, they had 4, which happens to be the smallest goalkeeper saves that they had. And in the last 5 games against other opponents, that is the last 5 games against other opponents, the smallest goalkeeper save that they had happens to be 2. So just add this particular 4 and 2 together, that is 6, and divide the 6 by 2, and that is 3. So 3 is the data we have for Graph Chap. At least we are expecting saves, total saves of maybe 3 from at least 3 from Graph Chap. And now for Roda, in their last 5 games against Graph Chap, against their current opponents, Graph Chap, the smallest goalkeeper save they had happens to be 1. And in the last 5 games against other opponents, the smallest goalkeeper save that they had happens to be 1. So we are going to add 1 plus 1 and divide it by 2 again, and that is still 1. So 1 for the average goalkeeper save for Roda, which is 1, and average goalkeeper save for Graph Chap, which is 3. We are going to add it together and we are getting 4. So this 4 is what you are going to predict as total goalkeeper save over 4.5. So as I said earlier, this particular strategy is very simple and straightforward. This particular game, we are actually expecting more than 4 goalkeeper saves in this match alone. Now depends on the bookmakers, depends on the bet platform that you want to use, if they will provide you with the accurate odd line. We all know that the bookmakers doesn't want us to win, but at least if we can get a bookmakers or bet platforms that is not stingy, surely you are going to win this particular game. So I want you guys to test this particular strategy after watching this particular video. All right, so the next strategy that I want to explain to you guys happens to be predicting who to have the highest total saves in a particular match. So this particular market is a very straightforward market, and it is very simple, very straightforward and simple. There is a logic behind this particular strategy. All right, so let me just explain to you guys how this particular strategy work and the idea behind the strategy of predicting who to win the total goalkeeper saves in a particular match. So the first thing that you need to take note is that you need to go for teams that you know that they are actually expected to win the game. And how will you do that? Just look at the bookmakers odd, check the odd. Any odd that is maybe they are giving a particular team maybe 1.4 odd or below, maybe 1.4 odd, 1.3 odd, 1.2 odd. Let's take for example the match between Arsenal and Wolves. This particular game, you can actually look into it, and what the person that you be targeting, you target both keepers, but what you just need there is just that you need to check the last 5 games of both teams against each other and against other opponents, just like we did for predicting the total goalkeeper saves in the match. And what we just need to do is that we want to predict who to actually win the total goalkeeper saves in a match. And how will you do that? Most times the underdog, the team that is expected to lose the game, for example in this particular game we are expecting Wolves to lose if they will not frustrate Arsenal, and we are expecting more shots from Arsenal compared to their underdog. And now we are expecting Wolves keeper to face more shots. Are you guys getting it? To face more shots than Arsenal goalkeeper will face shots. So let us look at this. So for this particular game, our main target is actually the away team to actually win. It is a very simple strategy, even without checking the data. This particular game, if you want to predict who to win the total goalkeeper saves, it will be the away team. But in order to confirm these are predictions and not to be sentiment, let us make use of the data. So the only thing that you need to do is that without wasting much of our time, I'll just explain to you guys. You guys will check, follow this same process we use for getting the total goalkeeper saves that we did earlier. Just use the same method to extract the data out. So I will explain how this one works. Now we are going to check the last 5 games of against each other. That is Arsenal against Wolves. So this happens to be their last 5 games. This particular game, let me just extract the data out for you guys. Alright, so I already checked the data, their last 5 games, and I've extracted the necessary numbers that we actually need there. So the smallest saves that Arsenal had in their last 5 games against Wolves happens to be 0. There's a particular match that actually, the match that ended up as 5-0, that match Arsenal, the goalkeeper doesn't have any saves. Now for Wolves, the smallest goalkeeper save that Wolves had in the last 5 games against Arsenal happens to be this particular game that ended up in 0-1. Wolves actually had 2 saves there and Arsenal had 4 saves there. So just keep that particular data somewhere. Now the next one is that you need to check for their last 5 games against other opponents. So I will just quickly help you guys to extract the data out in order to save our time. So after watching this particular video, please kindly make sure that you follow these particular steps with care to confirm the accuracy of this particular strategy. All right, so in the last 5 games of Arsenal against other opponents across all the leagues, the smallest goalkeeper save that Arsenal actually had happens to be one, just one. So just keep that, take note of that, and let us go for Wolves. Let us check the last 5 games against other opponents and the total saves that they had, the smallest goalkeeper save that they had in the last 5 games against other opponents across all the leagues. Let's check the total, the smallest saves that they had. Let me just quickly extract that for you guys so that it will save our time. All right, now, so after checking the last 5 games of Wolf against other opponents, the smallest goalkeeper save that they actually had there happens to be 2. All right, so for Arsenal, the smallest goalkeeper save they had against other opponents happens to be 1, and for Wolf it is 2. So now in their head-to-head, the smallest goalkeeper save that Arsenal had happens to be 0, and adding that 0 with what we are able to get from their last 5 games against other opponents, that is 1, adding 0 plus 1, that is 1, and dividing this particular 1 by 2, we are getting 0.5. And for Wolves, the smallest goalkeeper save that they had in their head-to-head, that is against Arsenal, against their current opponent, the smallest goalkeeper save they had happens to be 2, and the smallest goalkeeper save they had against other opponents in the last 5 games, it also happens to be 2, and adding this particular 2 together, we are going to get 4, and dividing it by 2, we are getting 2 again. So this is obvious already. So the home team, the average goalkeeper save they had, the smallest average goalkeeper save they had happens to be 0.5, and for the away team, which happens to be Wolf, it is exactly 2. So this is obvious, and I told you guys earlier that this thing doesn't really need much analysis, but for safety purpose, just the only thing that you need to take note is that if you want to go for any game, if you want to do your analysis on predicting who to win the goalkeeper saves in a match, look at the games that the bookmakers are providing, maybe either team, maybe the home team or the away team, maybe 1.4 odd or below, maybe 1.4, 1.3, 1.2, 1.1 and below, like that. And this particular game, always expect the underdog to win the total goalkeeper saves, because the team that the bookmakers are actually backing with 1.4 odd, we have more shots in that particular game, and the underdog will face more shots and they will surely have more saves. So in order to validate this particular idea or approach or theory, you can just make use of this particular simple analysis that we did to confirm your prediction. So let us check the match between Arsenal and Wolves, and let's see the odd that the bookmakers will be allocating for Wolves for the total goalkeeper saves, and let's see if the bookmakers are going to provide the market. So for now, I only know of one expert to be providing the goalkeeper save market, and I think maybe of bettors, I don't know, but let's check. Okay, I think currently the goalkeeper save market is not available, but maybe few minutes before the game will start, surely the bookmakers will provide the market for the market option for goalkeeper saves, because this particular market is very rare, and most of the bookies, they don't always provide it, because it is a very straightforward market, a very simple and straightforward market. So you can also look into some of, or you can also just try to do a back testing of this particular strategy. But the best bookies or bet platform that provide this particular market option happens to be, I think, Stake, 1xBet, 22bet, and Betano. So you can look into these particular bet platforms to check for the goalkeeper saves market, either predicting the over goalkeeper save, over total goalkeeper saves, or predicting who to actually win the goalkeeper save. All right, so thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Please, if you are just joining us for the first time, please kindly make sure that you subscribe to this particular YouTube channel, and if you have any question regarding to this particular channel, please kindly drop it in the comment section. And if you want to join our private circle groups or our Telegram platform, You are going to find the group link in the comment section and also in the video description. See you guys.